These are assembly instructions to my 10-point star. I have 3 versions of this star, but they all go together pretty much the same way. So I have one with solid panels. I have one with filigree cutouts so that you can put lights inside. And then I'm working on this one. And for this version, I've cut out some vellum to line the inside of my pieces. So this version is shrunk down a little bit just so that I can show you what I'm doing. I have 8 pieces that look like this. They're all the same size. All I've done so far is just folded down and burnished on all the score lines, including the 2 tabs that are on the bottom. And then I have 2 pieces that look like this, and they have a cutout in them. And I've done the same thing for them. I folded down on all the score lines. And then I have 3 pieces that I've cut out of this off-white, and I folded down and burnished on the score lines for those pieces as well. So for my vellum pieces, I have some tall triangles and some shorter triangles. So I'm adhering the shorter ones into the 8 shorter star points. So I'm just putting glue around the cutout, and I'm laying my piece of vellum on top. And I have 4 triangles for all 8 pieces, so that's 32 pieces of vellum that you have to glue down. So for this version, I didn't line it with the vellum. It still worked fine. I'm just going to continue gluing down 4 vellum triangles for all 8 of my shorter star point pieces. So now that I've glued my vellum down into my shorter points, I'm going to work on my taller points. I'm putting glue around the 3 filigree cutouts that are on my base. So I've got 1, 2, and 3. And I'm gluing my vellum triangles on top. I'm going to do that for all 3 cutouts for both pieces. And then I'm going to take the 2 triangles that I have that same filigree cutout. I'm just covering them up with my vellum triangle. So next I'm going to form my shorter points. I'm going to flip them over so that I'm looking at the inside. And I'm going to fold down on that side tab. Next I'm putting glue all over the side tab. And then I'm folding the other end over to meet up with the edge of the score line of that side tab. So when I pop it back up again, it forms one of my 8 shorter points. And I'm going to continue doing that with all 8 of them. So next I have these 2 pieces that are cut out of the cream cardstock, and I have 4 square cutouts in each one of these pieces. For each one of these cutouts, I'm putting glue around the perimeter of them, so between the score lines and the cutouts, and then I'm taking one of my shorter points and I folded down on the first set of score lines, and I fold the second score line towards me. So it ends up looking like this. And then I'm inserting all 4 of those smaller tabs into the cutout. And then I'm going to flip my piece over, and I'm folding the cutouts flat onto the underside of my piece. And then I'm flipping it around again, and I'm just pushing it down just to make sure that my star point is properly positioned on the 4 score lines. And I'm also helping the glue to adhere a little bit. And then I'm putting glue on the underside of those 4 small tabs. I'm folding them over, adhering them to the underside of my cream colored shape. So I'm doing that with the square cutout that's right beside as well. I'm taking my star point and I'm making sure that my tabs are in the right position. I'm inserting them into the cutout, flipping my piece over, folding my tabs onto the platform, just pressing down until my glue takes a little bit. And then I'm putting glue on the underside of the 4 tabs. So here's where you can use your reverse tweezers and just go in there and pinch that tab down onto the surface until your glue takes. So now I have those 2 other cutouts, and I'm doing the exact same thing with 2 more points. And then I'm going to glue down the next 4 stars into the second piece. Now that I've glued down my star points to their platforms, I'm going to put glue on these 2 tabs that are between these 2 points. I'm going to tuck those tabs underneath and bring my 2 points together, and at the same time that brings these 2 triangles together as well. So these 2 triangles get joined and these 2 points. So I'm just going underneath and I'm just applying a little bit of pressure just to make sure that that glue takes. And then I'm going to rotate my piece a little bit, and there's one little tab on the right hand side. I'm going to put glue the score line to the edge on that little tab, and again I'm joining 2 triangles. Now I'm doing the exact same thing with the second set of star points. I'm putting glue on those 2 tabs, and then I'm bringing those points together and those triangles together as well. I want the cut edge of this triangle to be right against the score line of the tab of that second triangle. I'm just applying pressure until my glue takes. And then I have that tab again, just putting glue on it, tucking it under, and gluing those 2 triangles together. I have the 2 triangles on my right hand side. I'm just putting glue on the tabs that are on the right hand side of those 2 triangles. And then I'm grabbing my other piece. I'm looking at the cut edge of the cream platform, and I am gluing it, and I'm applying pressure to make sure that my glue takes. Now that that's glued in, I'm going to put glue on the 2 other tabs that are on the other end, and just closing up my shape just by gluing those 2 other tabs to the points. So now I have my other cream piece, and then I have my 2 taller star points. I'm flipping my star point over and putting glue all along the side tab. I'm folding the other end over and gluing it to the score line. And I'm going to do that with both of my star points. And so next I have my cream piece. I'm folding over the tab on it, putting glue all over it, and then bringing the other end over and matching it up with the score line. So the top and the bottom are nice and even. Now I'm taking the point that's going to go on the top. I'm putting glue on one of the tabs. I'm just matching it up with one of the sides of my cream piece. I want the cut edge of this piece to be right against the score line on my point. Then I'm putting glue on the 3 other tabs. I'm inserting them inside my cream piece, pressing down, applying pressure until my glue takes. If you're making the version that has the solid panels, at this point you would glue in the second tall point at the bottom, like so, and then you make sure that it's all well adhered. But for this version, because it has the filigree, I want to be able to open the bottom of this and insert the lights. I'm going to take my main piece. So I've decided that this is the top of the star and this is the bottom of the star, and I am folding all these tabs inwards like so on the top. On the bottom, I'm pulling my tabs outwards like so. Then I'm inserting my star point. I'm using my spatula just to make sure that it doesn't get caught on these tabs from my cream piece. And then I'm pulling my point through. I'm going to pull it a little bit above where it should be, and then I'm putting glue, about 1/4 inch of glue on my cream colored piece, and then lower it down a little bit. And then I'm going into that cutout that's on the top and just sort of gluing it down like so. And so then I'm going to flip my piece over. I'm putting glue on the underside of 3 of these tabs. I'm folding them over and gluing them into the sides like so. So all 3 of them get glued down. I want to put a piece of vellum on the top of this star to prevent the light from falling into it. I'm pulling these tabs away from the center, and I'm putting glue on 3 of them. I'm gluing my piece of vellum to one of the tabs, and then I'm folding down on the 2 other tabs, and I'm positioning my piece so that it's nice and square, and then I'm gluing those 2 remaining tabs onto my vellum. So next I'm putting glue on that 1 remaining tab that I haven't glued down. So I'm taking my star point, I'm holding it so that that tab that isn't glued to anything is downwards, and I'm gluing the top of it to the tab, that 1 remaining tab that isn't glued down. So I want the top edge of my point to be right against the score line of my tab. So next I'm using some Velcro dots that are 3/8 of an inch, and they are clear. And then I'm matching up my Velcro halves. I'm taking the adhesive liner off one side, and I'm positioning it over that 1 tab, and then I'm removing the adhesive liner on the other half of my Velcro, and then I'm folding my point into place and pressing a little bit on where that Velcro dot is. I'm taking my Cricut tool to separate my Velcro, and then I'm going in there and I'm just adding a little pressure just to make sure that my Velcro dot stays put. So now I can close up my points. I'm just putting glue on the perimeter. Add a little bit of glue on the perimeter of my points too. Just glue them over the opening. I'm doing the same thing for the one at the bottom as well. And then I have my pieces for the top. I'm putting glue on the underside of one of the pieces. That's just a triangle. I'm positioning right at the top, and I'm taking one of the triangles with the circle attached, and I'm positioning it at the same height as the other one so they match up at the bottom, and just gluing that into position. And then I'm taking another triangular piece and I'm gluing it so the bottoms are at the same height. And then on my 4th piece, I'm putting glue all over it, including the circle. My bottoms match up. I'm pinching the top circle to the other one that's across from it. So for this version with the filigree, I can open the bottom, and I have these LED lights, and I'm just going to insert them inside. I just insert them and let them fall into the different points. Let's turn off the lights. And so there's my star.